What up, world? R.I.C.H coming right back at you. Let me tell you something. We are living in a time right now where words carry the weight of bombs. And if you don't believe me, look at what just happened to Jimmy Kimmel. One joke, one segment, one comment about Charlie Kirk's death, and just like that, his show, his legacy, his platform since 2003, put on ice indefinitely. Now look, I'm not here to defend Jimmy Kimmel, and I'm not here to crucify Jimmy Kimmel. I'm here to tell you my truth. This is bigger than Jimmy Kimmel. This is bigger than late night television. This is about us, what we can say, what we can't say, and about who decides and why.
There's intense reaction to Jimmy Kimmel's sudden suspension. His show off the air indefinitely.
They should have fired him a long time ago.
President Trump today bashing Kimmel from London.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk.
On social media, the president went further, calling on NBC to fire their late-night comics. That leaves Jimmy and Seth, two total losers on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC. It's eerily quiet outside Jimmy Kimmel's studio here in Hollywood today. The banners are still up, but no sign of any production staff or any crowds. When ABC pulled the plug last night, it came as a huge surprise to everyone.
Tonight we've got Wanda Sykes, Jay Shetty, and Chef Christian Petroni.
That was Kimmel earlier in the day, promoting his Wednesday night show. Then around 7 p.m. came word that the show would not go on. Kimmel, in a plaid shirt, and his wife, who also works on the show, were seen leaving the studio. And that's his sidekick, Guillermo, getting in his car. The crew, looking shell-shocked, loaded equipment into trucks.
It's time for Celebrity Family Feud!
This is what the TV audience saw instead of Kimmel, a game show.
I was supposed to go over and have a chat with my friend Jimmy Kimmel.
Comedian Wanda Sykes went on social media in full makeup and camera ready and blamed the president.
He didn't end the Ukraine war or solve Gaza within his first week, but he did end freedom of speech. Love you, Jimmy.
So what did Kimmel say that led to his suspension?
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
The comment sparked outcry in MAGA world.
I hate to tell you, buddy, but the guy who shot and killed Charlie Kirk was more likely a fan of yours.
On Wednesday, the chairman of the FCC, Trump appointee Brendan Carr, urged local ABC affiliates to push back against Kimmel.
It's time for them to step up and say, this, garbage isn't something that we think serves the needs of our local communities.
Shortly after that interview, two huge broadcasting companies, Nexstar and Sinclair, announced they were shelving Jimmy Kimmel Live on their ABC stations. Sinclair said they would not lift the suspension until Kimmel issues a direct apology to the Kirk family and makes a meaningful personal donation to the Kirk family and Turning Point USA. Democrats are crying foul.
This is what dictators do. This is what Xi would do. This is what Putin would do. We are not that country.
It should shake every American that the President of the United States is out there firing comedians who make fun of him.
America is a less free place if late-night comedians are not able to say and do what they want, to be able to satirize the American president, to be able to speak out about his conduct.
But the ladies of ABC's The View steered clear of the controversy, even if it was the hot topic of the day. And no reaction yet from Jimmy Kimmel himself, but many are pointing to what he wrote on social media right after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Instead of the angry finger-pointing, can we just for one day agree that it is horrible and monstrous to shoot another human? On behalf of my family, we send love to the Kirks and to all the children, parents, and innocents who fall victim to senseless gun violence.
So let me break it down for the people in the back.
Jimmy Kimmel goes on air. He addresses Charlie Kirk's assassination, and he takes a shot at the MAGA game. He runs a clip of Donald Trump responding, and then Kimmel did what Jimmy Kimmel does. He made a joke. This is not how adults grieve, he says. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish. Now, you may laugh, you may cringe, you may think it's funny, you may think it's insensitive, but the aftermath, that was no joke. ABC affiliates, 23 of them run by Nexstar, said enough is enough. They pulled the show and ABC suspended him. A man who's been on the air for over 20 years, gone in a week. And the reason given? Offensive and insensitive remarks at a critical time in national discourse. Translation, you don't have to agree, you don't have to like it, but you can't say it here, not on our platform. And here's where it gets complicated. You see, we love to say freedom of speech. And yes, in America, you can say what you want. But here's a catch. your employer can do what they want too. So yes, you can speak, but they can suspend your ass. And that's the reality people don't like to face. Freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences. Look around. It's not just Jimmy Kimmel. Professors were fired for tweets about Charlie Kirk. Local employees were suspended for Facebook posts. People losing jobs over memes. I mean, everybody's under the microscope. And here's the tough part. You got to be torn. Because on one hand, freedom of speech is supposed to be sacred. But on the other hand, an employer has the right to say, not on my watch, not on my payroll. So where do we draw the line? And let me say this because it needs to be said. I don't like to see people celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. Just like I don't like to see people celebrating anybody's death. I'm not here to praise Charlie Kirk. I'm not here to bash him. But death, that's serious. That's final. That's nothing to laugh about. And yet we've seen it. Online parties, memes, laughs. Let me tell you something. When you celebrate death, you lose a piece of your humanity. But here's the other side. When you celebrate people getting fired for speaking their mind, you lose something too. There's no win here. Not really. Because we either laughing at someone dying or laughing at someone's livelihood being taken away. And neither one builds a healthy society. This ain't just about celebrities. Let's talk about the professors. A professor posts a comment. Maybe it's critical of Charlie Kirk. Maybe it's sarcastic. Maybe it's misunderstood. And what happens? Student protests. Administrators panic. The university makes a call and you out. That's years of study, years of teaching, years of credibility, all gone with one tweet. Now let's talk about the average worker. You at a job, you post something on Facebook, maybe you joking, maybe you mad, maybe you just venting. It gets back to your boss and suddenly you don't have a paycheck. So the point is this, we're living in a world where every comment is a contract. Every joke is a job interview. Every statement is a statement about your character. And I'm not saying that's wrong and I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that's where we are. So how do we handle this? What's the balance? Because clearly people are hurting. People are offended and people are losing their jobs. We can't keep living in a world where the first response is to fire, cancel, or destroy. People need room to speak. People need room to apologize and people need room to grow. We got to get back to disagreement without destruction. We got to get back to free speech that's actually free. So what does this leave us? What do we take away from Jimmy Kimmel's suspension? Number one, words matter. You can't just say anything and expect no consequences. Number two, consequences shouldn't be death sentences. People need a path back. People need a chance to learn. And number three, we got to stop celebrating destruction. Stop celebrating death. Stop celebrating people losing their jobs. Stop celebrating pain. Because when we celebrate pain, we become the very thing we claim to hate. So remember this, Jimmy Kimmel's suspension is not just about Jimmy. It's about all of us. It's about the culture we're creating. It's about the world we're leaving to the next generation. And if we don't figure this out, if we don't find balance, if we don't learn to care without canceling, we all could be next. So hear me loud and clear. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences, but consequences shouldn't mean destruction. We got to get back to a place where humanity matters, where context matters, where mercy matters. Because at the end of the day, the lesson is simple. Words have power, but so does grace. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe, establish rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.